Hi, in this video we're going to be taking a look at Flick of the Wrist by Queen, taken from their 1974 album Sheer Heart Attack. It starts off with piano, but then a guitar enters, playing this phrase. I'll put the guitar tab on the screen for this using the annotations. If you're watching on a mobile device and you can't see the guitar tab, I'll try and put the tab in the description, a link to it on the blog, so you can read that. We're starting off on the 13th fret of the B string, bending up on the 15th, moving to the 16th, down to the 13th. So you have that high E string 15th fret, moving to the 15th of B, bending up to the 16th to the 13th. So I have that. Then on the G string we're going from the 8th to the 7th to the 5th to the D string, pulling off to the 5th from the 7th, 7th fret of A, back to the D, 5 hammer on to 7, open A, which rings out. So we have this phrase, holding down the 7th fret of D, 9th fret of G, putting our little finger on the 10th fret of the B string, like that. Now the next phrase, which is probably the most recognisable part of the song, is this phrase being played. Then again, there is like almost a meandering lead guitar playing over the top of that. 1st fret of the D string, moving to the A string, 2nd, 3rd to 2nd, moving to the 2nd fret of D, moving back to A, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, moving to the 4th of D, moving back to the A string, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, open A, then on the 2nd fret we'll hammer onto the 3rd and pulling off, and then we'll play that phrase again. So we have then again, we then have this phrase, which is E bar chord, or E power chord rather, to D, E, to D, E, to D, A minor, to a B. Shifting to this phrase, which I'll play through. We're on that E5 power chord on the 7th fret. We're moving down a fret and back up. Bottom A string. We then do the E, moving down a fret, to a B5 power chord on the 7th fret. So we have. Then we go on to the 10th fret of E, moving to the A, 7, 9, back to the 10th of E. Again, the guitar tab should be on the screen to explain that bit. We then move quite simply to an A minor chord. We're going to go to a D, to a G, to a C. We then have this phrase, holding down the D and G strings on the 5th fret and using an open A, pulling off on the 7th to the 5th on the D, moving to the 7th on the A. So we'll have, we then have that same, then on the A string. So, that is 5, 6, 7 on the A, 5, 7, 5 on the D, to the 7th on the A. We then have that like that, just hum. And then we'll have on the 3rd fret of the A, we're going 3, 4, 5. And then we have an E5 power chord. See, all this time. We then have this phrase which we've played before. We then back to our main riff, which is then again. We then have A minor, D, G to C. We then move to our guitar solo. Again, with this, I think it's the easiest thing to do is to play each phrase through slowly, because it is quite a quick solo, and I'll put the guitar tab on the screen to follow. So starting off on the 18th fret of the high B string. As such, then we'll move to this phrase on the 15th of the high E. Now our next phrase is so like that. We then have then our next phrase. Then have we then move to the end of the solo now, where we have and then this phrase on the 15th fret of the B string. And the very last phrase like that. It's a very quick way of going through the solo. I have to listen to it because it is played rather quickly. It can be a bit tricky in places. At the end of that solo, there's another guitar playing underneath, which is playing this phrase. We then have that is on the bottom E string. We're going 3, 2, 1. We're then going open, 3rd fret, 5, 6, 7. A string, 5, 6, 7. 5th to D, back to the 7th of A. And then we'll play that again. Then on the A string we'll have 3, 4, 5. Then again, E5 power chord. We then have our main riff again. I'll just check my notes, make sure I'm doing it right, which is again. We then have our phrase of E5, D, E, D, E, D, so E, which is like a D. We then have A minor, D, G, C, G. We then have this. Again, that same phrase of opening. On the 5th fret, 5, 6, 7. 7th fret of D, pulling off to the 5th. 7th of A, out of D, 5, 7. We then have, so we've got, we then have this phrase, which is just open A on, then bar on the 5th. After that, we then have the very end, which is, sorry, open A, 3rd, 4th, 5th, E5, which takes us to which is the end phrase of the song, sorry. So as always, thanks for watching. I hope that helps you be able to play Flick of the Wrist. It's been quite a difficult one to be able to find in terms of finding guitar tablets or any other explanations for it. So thank you for watching.